Hello students, it was about human health and disease. We started about immunity. You may remember the word immunity refers to the ability of our body to prevent the entry of pathogen and causing diseases. This immunity can be of two types, you may be remembering. One is called as innate immunity, another one is called as acquired immunity. Innate immunity is present in our body from the birth itself. It is made up of different type of barriers which will prevent the entry of pathogens. These barriers can be of four types, you may be remembering. Those four types of barriers can be either physical barriers or physiological barriers, cellular barriers and cytokine barriers, like the various types of them. Cytokine barriers are produced by infected cells, we can say. Viral infected cells can produce interferons, interleukin like substances. They act as cytokine barriers also. Cellular barrier involves a different type of WBC, you may be remembering. And chemical barriers involve the secretions of different glands of our body. And the main physical barrier is the skin and mucous membrane. So various type of barriers are included under innate immunity, you may recall. As far as acquired immunity is concerned, just I was telling you in the previous class about acquired immunity. Acquired immunity can be of two major types, we may be recalling. Otherwise, before going in detail, acquired immunity is specific in nature, you must remember. While innate immunity is non-specific, acquired immunity is specific in its function. It will work against a particular pathogen only. So every pathogen will have a special type of acquired immunity basis, we can say. And at the same time, acquired immunity will have its own memory also. Remember this point. Because of that memory power, they can recognize second time infection very quickly. The secondary infection can be quickly recognized and responded by our acquired immunity system. This acquired immunity is mainly depending upon lymphocytes, I was telling you in the previous class. Lymphocytes play an important role in the acquired immunity. There are two types of lymphocytes. One is called B lymphocyte, another one is called T lymphocyte, present in our WBC. Lymphocytes are a type of WBC, you may recall that point also. So B lymphocyte and T lymphocytes are there in our acquired immunity to protect our body or to prevent the pathogens, we can see. How they function, how they are differing from each other, how do they work in our body? Remember, B lymphocytes are produced in the bone marrow and they are processed in the bone marrow itself. They are produced in the bone marrow as well as they are processed in the bone marrow itself. That's why they are called B lymphocyte, we can say here. This B lymphocyte, they are capable of producing a specific type of proteins called antibodies in our body. In the previous lecture, I was telling you about antigen and antibody also. Antigen is any substance which can create disease or which can create some immune response is called antigen. That antigen can be, it may be a dust particle, it may be a dander, it may be some kind of animal hair, pet animal's hair, we can say, or it may be a microorganism and a macroorganism also. When such a pathogen enters into our body, Against that pathogen, we are producing some group of proteins. To fight with that foreign organism, we produce some protein. Those proteins are called antibodies, remember. Who is producing the antibodies means B lymphocytes are producing the antibodies. And these antibodies are specific in their work. Different pathogen will be fought by different type of antibodies. So for cholera causing bacterium, we have specific antibody. Typhoid causing bacterium, we have specific type of antibody. That is called specificity, we can say here. That is the B lymphocyte, we can say. If you analyze the structure of antibody, remember, it is a protein molecule produced by our body. It is nothing but a protein, we can say. This protein molecule will have a characteristic Y-shaped structure in it, we can say here. The protein molecule of our antibody or the protein molecule will be having the Y-shaped structure like this. A generalized antibody will be having a Y-shaped structure like this. It will have 4 polypeptide chains in it. There are 4 polypeptide chains. 2 of them are long chains, we can say, and 2 of them are short chains, we are indicating. 2 of them are long chains, long polypeptide chain, and 2 of them are short polypeptide chain, we can say. The long chains are called heavy chains, we can say here. Short chains are called as light chains, we can say. Since there are 2 long chains or 2 heavy chains and 2 light chains, the structure of antibody can be denoted with H2L2 structure, we are telling here. Any antibody will be having its own characteristic H2L2 pattern. What is that H2L2 pattern? 2 heavy chains are there, 2 light chains are there in a antibody molecule. So any antibody will be having Y-shaped structure. In it 4 polypeptide chains are present, not polynucleotide chain. 4 polypeptide chains are present. Among them, 2 will be heavy chains and 2 will be light chains. So H2L2 structure we can see. Now remember, these structures or these polypeptide chains are connected with each other by means of some disulfide bonds, we can say. They are held together by means of disulfide bonds here and there. So they get the stability in this case. What one end of this polypeptide chain, nitrogen or amino group will be present, that is called amino end, we can say. Another end will be containing acidic group, otherwise C-terminal it can be called. So in any polypeptide chain, there will be one N-terminal and one C-terminal because the polypeptide is made up of amino acids. Each amino acid will contain one amino group and acidic group. So they are just like polarity. In antibody also there will be N-terminal and C-terminal present here. In the N-terminal, there will be some variable region present in the antibody actually. The upper part of the 2 chains, H and L chain, they will have some variable portion, otherwise variable area, we can say here. And the remaining part of the antibody will be known as a constant portion, otherwise constant area, it can be called. Why we should talk about variable and constant areas here means, in the variable area only, antigen will be binding with the antibody like this. So remember, this is the variable arm or N-terminal which act as antigen binding site, it can be called. So which is the antigen binding site of antibody? It is the N-terminal, we can say. Since they should have specificity, this N-terminal will be variable in different antibodies. Are you getting this point? In cholera fighting antibody, this N-terminal will be different. In typhoid fighting antibody, this N-terminal will be variable. So different antibody will have different variable portions. Those portions are responsible for antigen recognition and antigen fighting or binding actually. By binding with the antigen, these antibodies may destroy that antigen or they may disturb that antigen, damage that antigen, so that their disease causing ability will be neutralized, we can say here. This is called antigen antibody reaction, it can become. So the structure of antibody can be asked in a 3-mark question. It can be many times it is asked as a diagram part also. There are H2L2 arrangement, N-terminal will be there, C-terminal will be there. N-terminal is meant for antigen binding, we can say. There are many types of antibodies produced by our immune system or acquired immune system. These antibodies belong to a category of proteins called immunoglobulin protein unit. They belong to a group called as immunoglobulins, remember that point. Because of that immunoglobulin protein, albumin protein, like that you might have heard. This is belonging to a category called globulin. Immunoglobulin is the nature of protein present in the antibodies, I can say here. Due to the nature of that immunoglobulin, to denote that immunoglobulin nature, we use different antibodies with the symbols like Ig we are using. There are antibodies like IgM produced by our immune system. There are antibodies like IgA is produced in different parts. IgE is another type of antibody we can see here. IgG is produced by our body actually. Even IgD is also there. Like that around 5 to 6 types of antibodies are produced by our body. So remember, these are different types of immunoglobulins. They are specific in their work. They would bind with the antigen. What is antigen? Anything which can cause disease is called antigen. So it is produced or it is released. This antigen may be released by a pathogen. Those antigens are capable of destroying our cells and tissues. To prevent the antigen, we produce antibody. Our body produces antibody. Pathogen produces antigen. Remember this point. So whoever is stronger among these two fighters, depending on that, our health will be maintained. If antigens become more stronger, we will develop a disease. If antibody becomes more stronger, we will remain healthy. That is called antigen-antibody reaction. I was telling you about B lymphocyte. They are responsible for causing antibody. As I told you earlier, these B lymphocytes also have got memory for them. During first time infection, in our childhood, we produce a slow response. We produce less efficient antibodies, and it will be a slower process, I can say. But the same infection happens during our adulthood as a secondary infection means. Second time when we get infected, these B lymphocytes will develop their memory. They will produce more number of antibodies, specific antibodies, efficient antibodies, and fast they will be producing the antibodies. So secondary response it is called, that will be more rapid, faster and efficient we can say. But primary response is slower and not much efficient we can say here. This is regarding B lymphocyte actually. There are another group of lymphocytes I told you, they are called T lymphocytes. Remember, T lymphocytes are not processed in the bone marrow. They are produced in the bone marrow. T lymphocytes are also produced in bone marrow only, but they are processed in our thymus gland. Thymus gland is a type of endocrine gland which is present in the chest region of our body. Between the two lungs, we have this thymus gland actually. In young ages, we have well developed and more larger size of thymus gland. When we grow old and older, the thymus gland diminish in size. But at the same time, they are responsible. Why do we need thymus gland? They produce thymosin hormone. In addition to that, they are responsible for processing the T lymphocyte also. T lymphocyte get processed by our thymus gland. These T lymphocytes have two functions in our body. First one is it can induce B lymphocyte. Whenever a pathogen enters into our body, the T lymphocytes will go and warm the B lymphocyte to produce the antibodies. It will induce the B lymphocyte. It will trigger the B lymphocyte to produce the antibody. So, inducing B lymphocyte is the function, one function of T lymphocyte. Another function here is the T lymphocyte is responsible for recognizing self tissues and non-self tissues also. Histocompatibility is performed by or is recognized by T lymphocytes. Remember this one. Histocompatibility. When we come across this word histocompatibility means when there is organ transplantation happens in our body. It may be kidney transplantation to save a person suffering due to renal failure like that. It may be liver transplantation, even skin grafting and other things we can say, plastic surgery and all we are telling. In such cases, grafting or surgery transplantation happens. During that transplantation experiment, we must be supplied or we must be donated with matching tissues, matching organs one day. Not only our blood group should match with each other, even the organ tissue should match with each other. Our body and the donor's organ should match with each other. That is called the compatibility among the tissues. Histo refers to tissues. Compatibility refers to matching. So here there must be matching between the tissue. Donors and the recipient tissue should match with each other. Otherwise, if we do wrong transplantation, if we do mismatching organs means what will happen? Our immune system will get alert and they will try to destroy that non-self organ. That is called that is considered as a foreign organ or foreign tissue or foreign cell, and it will be tried to be destroyed. That is called histocompatibility. That work is done by T lymphocyte. T lymphocytes are able to recognize which is our cells, which are foreign cells. Which are the foreign cells that would match with our cells and which can be rejected. That graft rejection and acceptance, they are all done by histocompatibility, remember. So, thymus gland is doing this processing of T lymphocyte. Now here, dear students, I will tell you one more interesting point. B lymphocytes produce antibodies, of course. But those antibodies must be taken to various parts of our body to fight with the enemy. Because pathogen can enter through any part of the body. But these are produced, the B lymphocytes are produced in our bone marrow. So from the bone marrow, they should travel to different parts of the body. How they can travel through the different parts means, there comes our body fluid, otherwise blood we can say. So antibodies or B lymphocytes are capable of traveling through our blood and fluid, body fluid, lymph like that. Such a kind of dependency is there for B lymphocyte. B lymphocyte is depending on our body fluid for movement, for transportation. Because of that, B lymphocyte work is otherwise known as humoral immunity. It can be called. Remember this one. They are bringing out humoral immunity in our body. I already told you the word humor, H-U-M-O-R. It is body fluid. Through body fluids only antibodies could travel. Through body fluids only B lymphocytes could travel. So it is called humor-based immunity, humor-dependent immunity, humor-mediated immunity, or humoral immunity. But this one, T lymphocytes are not like that. They do not much depend on our blood like that. But they can reject or they can recognize the self and non-self cells I told you. Due to that reason, T lymphocyte will be otherwise known as cellular immunity, otherwise cell-based immunity it can be called. Since they recognize self and non-self cells, they are called cell-mediated immunity. One is humor-mediated immunity, another one is cell-mediated immunity. It is called humor-mediated immunity. HMI, I am using the word. CMI refers to cell-mediated immunity, remember. So I can tell 4 or 5 differences between B lymphocyte and T lymphocyte, which can form a good 3-mark question in the board examination also. B lymphocytes are produced and processed in bone marrow. T lymphocytes are produced in bone marrow but processed in thymus gland. Second point is B lymphocytes are producing antibodies. Here second difference is T lymphocytes are not producing antibody but they are recognizing self and non-self cells. Third difference is B lymphocyte will be responsible for humoral immunity or humor-mediated immunity. T lymphocyte is carrying out cell-mediated immunity, we can say here. And all these things, they are formed from some 3-mark question. One more work I told you is that T lymphocyte can induce B lymphocyte to trigger, or it can trigger the B lymphocyte to produce the antibodies also. So which type of lymphocyte produce antibody? It is B lymphocyte. Why it is called B? It is bone marrow. Bursa fabricus it is called. That organ or that bone marrow part is called bursa fabricus. From that bursa only these antibodies are produced. They are called B lymphocytes producing antibody, antibody-mediated immunity or humor-mediated immunity, it can be called. Which is cell-mediated immunity, it is T lymphocyte. So students, this is regarding what is that? Acquired immunity, we can say. Acquired immunity is acquired during our lifetime, not from the birth itself. When our body is exposed for pathogen, we develop acquired immunity. They are not present from the beginning of our life. So they are acquired during our lifetime due to exposure, one point. They are specific in their work. That means particular pathogen will be dealt by particular system only. They are not wide specific. And I told you they have memory for retaining that condition actually. Memory power they have, these lymphocytes. And lymphocytes play an important role in acquired immunity. There are 2 types of lymphocytes, B and T lymphocytes. Bone marrow and thymus gland. Differences I told you so far. Please make note of this. We shall continue with other points here. Okay, students, let me continue with some more points related to acquired immunity. So once again I will tell you, B lymphocytes are meant for humoral immunity, T lymphocytes are meant for what is that? Cellular immunity, cell mediated immunity we can say. We must know now what is called as active and passive immunity also we have to see. Of course, immunity means resistance power. It may be either active or passively also we can get this resistance power. Both active and passive immunity comes under acquired immunity only. Both of them belongs to acquired immunity. Not in what is that innate immunity. They are types of acquired immunity. What is the difference between active and passive mechanism we have to see here. Remember, whenever our body is exposed for a pathogen, it may enter, that pathogen may enter through the air we breathe, or it may enter through the water we drink, or through some wound or injuries, or through the food we consume, or even through sexual contact like that, a pathogen may enter into our body. Whenever a pathogen enters into our body, they will release some chemicals called as antigens here. So antigens are released from pathogen. Against that antigen, what our body does means, it will produce antibodies. Our body has got antibodies, they will produce antibody from the help from the B lymphocyte. Now these antibodies and these antigen will fight with each other. Finally, whoever is stronger, they will be the winner or they will be the successful, we can say here. For example, if pathogen is successful, we will get disease. If our body is successful or if our body is winning, we will become healthy, we can say. Anyhow, antigens are produced by pathogen, antibodies are produced by our body. Now come the question here. If antibodies are produced by our body directly due to the exposure to the antigen, then it will be called as active immunity, we can say. It is known as active immunity. In active immunity, what happens? Our immune system responds directly. When a pathogen enters into our body, there will be direct response from our immune system or from our body. That direct method is called active immunity. That means the pathogen activate our immune system. The pathogen trigger our immune system, induce our immune system, and our immune system become active. That is one category. Sometimes what happens means, we may get antibodies from other sources also. If ready-made antibodies are introduced, ready-made antibodies are present in our body. Remember this point. If there is ready-made antibodies, ready-made in the sense, through mother's milk we may get some antibody, you have studied. Through the placenta, some antibodies will be given to our body. They are not present from the birth, otherwise directly in our body, so they are not innate. They are acquired only. From where they are acquired? They are acquired from the mother. They are acquired through the milk, colostrum. You might have heard that word, colostrum. The first formed milk from a parturition, the women undergone parturition. That milk is containing IgA antibody, you may remember. This IgA antibody is given to the child through the mother's milk. Now that is called passive immunity. The child will get immune power, but it is not produced by its own immune system. Try to get this point. So either you can borrow the antibody or you can generate your own antibody. When you produce your own antibody, it is called active immunity. When we borrow the antibody from other sources, it will be from mother or it will be through some food like that, then it will be called ready-made antibody or passive immunity it can become. So I hope you understand the difference between active immunity and passive immunity. Sometimes blood transfusion may also increase the antibody level in our body. You will get a blood transfusion from the donor, a proper matching blood you are getting, compatible blood you are getting means. There some antibodies will be borrowed, they will be taken, obtained from the donor. From mother's milk we get IgA. Placenta can transmit some antibodies. Such antibodies, ready-made produced in other source, will be known as passive immunity. So dear students, either directly you can produce the antibody or you can get the antibody from other sources. When you produce directly, it is called active immunity. When we get from other sources, when we borrow it from other sources, it is called passive immunity, we can say. These are the two methods, active immunity and passive immunity. Let me come to another point related to immune system in our body. Please make note of this. I will continue. Listen. So in active immunity, antibodies are produced by our own immune system as a direct response to the infection. In passive immunity, antibodies are obtained from other sources. So active, passive, we can say. Next to this, we must know what is called as vaccination and immunization. We have to see. Vaccination and immunization we have to see. Remember, what are vaccines we have to discuss in this case. A vaccine can be defined as a type of weak or attenuated microbe. It may be a type of weak or attenuated pathogen which can trigger the antibody production in our body. They will trigger the antibody production in our body. Such a substance will be called as a vaccine, we can say here. So what is a vaccine? It is a type of weak or attenuated microbe or weak or attenuated pathogen which can trigger antibody production in our body. That is called vaccination, we can say. You heard about polio vaccine, hepatitis vaccine, like that many type of BCG vaccine and anthrax, like that many vaccinations or vaccines are there. Why the newborn child is given with vaccine? Why we should do vaccination for children like that means? Please listen carefully. This type of vaccination is a precautionary measure we take for our immune system. It is a precautionary measure. Otherwise, it is a preventive measure we can take, we can give for our immune system actually. Through vaccination, we create a situation in which our immune system will produce antibodies against weak or attenuated microbes. For example, just imagine this point. If we take some cholera producing bacteria and we heat kill that cholera producing bacteria. Remember, as Griffith did in Streptococcus pneumonia, we can kill that bacterium by means of attenuation, heating or other process we can say. Such type of weakened microbe or attenuated microbe, when it is infected into our body, into a child's body, what the immune system of the child will do means, it will think that a foreign organism has entered into its own body. Imagine we are giving a weak microbe only, but that weak microbe will be taught as a healthy microbe, a foreign organism which is able to cause disease. So a weak, harmless microbe or weak microbe, dead microbe is thought to be a harmful microbe. Because of that, what happens? Our immune system will start showing response. Our immune system will start producing the antibodies. That is what we do in immunization and vaccination. You know, polio vaccination we do in the large scale during particular days of the year, like that, dates and all. There will be what the polio vaccination done for newborn children or even up to 3 years old, like that, in different places, common places, public areas, schools and other areas. That is called immunization program. Actually, what do we do in that vaccine means? That vaccine is made up of that pathogen only. That vaccine is made up of polio vaccine means it is made up of poliomielitis virus. But the problem is that poliomyelitis is what is that? Neutralized. It is attenuated. It is made weak. When that weak virus is sent into our body, our immune system will think that real virus has entered into our body. It may cause disease, it will believe. So that it will start producing antibody, get that antibody ready. Because of this, when there is secondary infection happens during growth, imagine a 3-year-old boy is given with polio vaccine. Then he will survive for some 60 years means. Throughout his lifetime, whenever he get polio infection, polio virus infection, immediately he will show secondary response. Fast response, quick response, anamnestic response will be given by that immune system. So we are getting our immune system ready by cheating it. Are you getting this point? I am using the word cheating here because we are not introducing strong microbe. We are not introducing real microbe, otherwise healthy microbe. We introduce weak microbe. But what our immune system will think? It is the real microbe. It may cause disease, so that I should be ready. It will think. Because of that, the immune system will start producing antibody and it will become vaccination. We are ready. This is the way of vaccination, we can say. So, dear students, this is also a type of passive immunity only. Because of course our body is producing antibody, but not directly. It is as a response of weak microbe. Unless you introduce the weak microbe, we won't be able to produce that antibody. So antibody is produced, but it is a passive mechanism. Due to what is that vaccination and immunization, we make our soldiers ready for the future war, we can say. There may be a war, there may be infection in future. How to tackle that war means keep our soldiers ready. For that, what we do? We give them training. How? By introducing a weak or attenuated microbe. Weak or attenuated pathogen is given to our body. We will suddenly become what is that? Active. We will be ready with our antibodies. Since the antibodies have memory cells, memory in them, they are able to survive and recognize the pathogen even in future dates, even in future years, like that. That is the importance of vaccination and immunization. The WHO, what is that, introduced this immunization programs throughout the world, so that nowadays we can eradicate completely the polio-like diseases are eradicated from human community. The children no longer suffer due to polio. Children are adult, we no longer suffer due to hepatitis vaccination. BCG vaccination, you may be remembering. Such vaccines are protecting our body throughout our lifetime. But they should be taken in the young age itself, so that they can trigger the antibody, and antibody will be there forever in our body. This is the ability of vaccination and the immunization. Apart from this vaccination and immunization, I should tell you about another aspect of our immune system, which is called allergy. We have to remember. What is this allergy? How we are responding for this allergy? We have to see here. Suppose, listen to me. Different people or different persons show different immune response during this allergy condition. When a person suddenly comes out or when he goes into the open ground, means he may start sneezing continuously for several times. He may start sneezing actually. Sometimes without any reason we feel itching in different parts of the body and we start itching continuously. Sometimes suddenly swellings happen in our body here and there, red coloration happens in the skin here and there. This kind of conditions are called allergy, we are telling. Sudden response. Suddenly our immune system will respond without any reason, we can say. That is called allergy. Any substance which will cause allergy is known as an allergen. Remember that. What is an allergen? It is a substance which will cause allergic response in our body. Just like mutation, mutagen. Here allergy, allergen, we can say. Now listen carefully. Some people may feel hairs as an allergic response in our body. Suddenly a minute hair may enter into our mouth or eye like that. We will start responding to it by sneezing, coughing and all the responses. In our eyes, when dust or other things falls here, means suddenly we start producing tear, so that molecule will be sent up. We may show itching sensation. All these responses may be caused due to hairs of different animal or our own body, we can see here. That will be considered as a foreign organism by our immune system, so that we will start showing some response in this case. So what I can say is, an allergy can be defined as a type of sudden and violent or exaggerated, remember this word, exaggerated response shown by our immune system. Okay, immune response shown by our immune system is called as allergy. It will be a sudden response, it will be a violent or exaggerated response. Why I use the word violent means there will be sudden sneezing, continuous sneezing with more noise and other things. Continuous coughing, hoarse coughing we are telling. Similarly, there will be itching sensation, sudden formation of blisters or some inflammation in the skin and other part of the body. These are called allergy and allergens, we can say. During allergic reaction, what happens? Violent response, exaggerated response takes place. So a hair, it will be not able to cause any disease. It is harmless. But our body will think that it is a harmful pathogen. It will believe that it is a foreign pathogen. So it will start violent response. A dust particle may settle in our mucous membrane of the nostril. Suddenly our immune system will become violent and it will try to throw that dust particle through sneezing and mucus production like that. That sudden and violent response, exaggerated response shown by our immune system is called allergy. Some people will be allergic to some of the vegetables we might have seen. There are certain vegetables when we consume them, they may cause allergic response in our body. Egg may be allergic to some people, milk may be allergic to some people. So it may be the food also which may act as an allergen to our body. So a harmful, for some people it will be useful. Some will consume the vegetable, they will not be affected. But only in few people it will show the sudden and violent response. Pathogen means it will cause disease to everybody. But allergens need not affect everybody. They are generally harmless. They are generally a dust particle, generally a hair or a vegetable. But a harmless vegetable is believed to be a harmful vegetable by our immune system, so that we will start showing sudden response, violent response, exaggerated response actually. What is that exaggeration? Sneezing, coughing, itching and blister formation. Sometimes it will lead to headache, some fever also. All these things are happening during allergy. Whether a person is suffering due to allergy or not, how to identify? We can test his blood and the presence of IgE antibody will be checked here. IgE antibody is there in our blood more and more, means it indicates we are suffering due to allergy. Not only that one, in our body, in a person suffering due to allergy, they will have serotonin in the blood actually. Serotonin, a secretion called a hormone-like substance, biochemical molecule called serotonin will be higher in his blood, we can say. There will be production of serotonin, histamine, like that. They will cause inflammation of the skin. Inflammation means red color and swelling happening in the body. That kind of vasodilators and all vasoconstrictor they are produced during allergy. Vasodilator, they will dilate the diameter of the blood vessel. This is known as allergy. Presence of IgE, presence of serotonin, histamine, they all cause allergy. So what we have to do? We have to take anti-allergic substances. We must consume some tablets or injections which will reduce the level of serotonin and histamine. Antihistamine drugs. And what is that? Antihistamine drugs should be consumed by us. Steroid materials will be given. They all will be consumed. They will reduce the allergic response carefully. So this is regarding vaccination and immunization. And vaccine is nothing but weak or attenuated pathogen, which will cause, which is acting like a preventive measure. There is a difference between vaccination and allergy. Allergy is a sudden, violent, exaggerated response shown by our immune system. Remember this point. Let me start with this in today's class. We shall continue remaining points in the next class actually. Let me start.